Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Nidia Annisa from 5BA class of English Department 2020, State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya. In this wonderful occasion, I'd like to present one of the materials in research methodology subject entitled Types of Variables. Before going to the types of variables, we should know first what is the definition of variable itself. Well, a variable in research simply refers to a person, place, thing, or phenomenon that you are trying to measure in some ways. It is also defined as anything that has a quantity or quality that varies. In research, a variable is defined as an attribute of an object of study. Variable also changes within a study. It may changes from person to person or changes across time. In a study or research, it can contain a lot of questions. Well, these questions are often called variables. When doing research, variables come in many types. But why we should know the types of variables? Of course, because one of the first things that has to be done when we do a study is by knowing the types of variables in order to choose appropriate methods of study and interpret the results of our study. Well, there are two types of variables. The first one is categorical variables, and the second one is continuous variables. The first one is categorical variables. Categorical variables are also known as discrete or qualitative variables. As the name implies, a categorical variable is made up of categories. Even if the categories can be placed in a natural order, they have no magnitude or units. When we talk about categorical variables, we'll find terms of categories in a research. It contains a finite number of categories or distinct groups. Categorical variables are not numerically measurable. These variables can be further categorized as either nominal, dichotomous, and ordinal variables. The first one is nominal variables. Nominal variables are variables that have two or more categories which do not have an intrinsic order. Typical examples of nominal variables are religion, blood group, nationality, favorite color, etc. Well, the next one is dichotomous or binary variables. This type of variable have only two categories or levels. These variables list to distinct, mutually exclusive choices. The example of dichotomous or binary variables are true or false questions, yes-no questions, and others that have two categories. Well, the last one of categorical variables is ordinal variables. Ordinal variables have two or more categories which can be ordered or ranked. Ordinal variables allow us to rank order the categories in terms of which category has less and which category has more of the quality represented by the variable. But the distances between categories are not known, although these categories can be ordered in logical way. The example of these variables is the question what is your highest level of education completed, and the answer are less than high school, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and graduate's degree. Well, go on to the next variables. The second types of variables is continuous variables. Continuous variables are also known as quantitative variables. These variables can take on any score or value within a measurement scale. In addition, the difference between each of the values has a real meaning. In contrast of categorical variables, continuous variables have magnitude and units, with values that carry an equal weight. Two main types of continuous variables are interval variables and ratio variables. The first one is interval variables. Interval variables are variables that can be measured along a continuum and have a numerical value. The example of interval variables is the temperature measured in degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. The second types of continuous variables is ratio variables. Ratio variables are variables that meet an additional condition. The name ratio reflects that the fact we can use the ratio of measurement, but with added condition that 0 of the measurement indicates that there is none of the variable. The example of ratio variables is the temperature measured in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit is not a ratio variable because 0 degrees Celsius doesn't mean that there is no temperature. Well, that's all about the materials of today. It is the types of variables in research and methodology subject. I'm Nidia Annisa. Thank you very much for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.